Are you guys there? Hey everyone, happy May. I'm so psyched for this live event this evening. To be here with my good friend Gabby Bernstein, is just off of her book tour, and actually on her last book tour, her and I were supposed to do a live event together in person, and because of Snowmageddon, if anyone remembers that massive snowstorm that shut down the East Coast for 4 days last year, because of that it got canceled. So I clipped off, I have this, it's a vision board book, so I have this vision book, and I clipped off a piece of the poster that had been used to promote that live event here of Gabby and I put it on my vision book. and I knew that it would all happen in perfect timing. And here we are tonight, and I'm so thrilled that we've all come together because I'm really excited about the work Gabby's doing in the world and the work that all of you are doing in the world to be lighthouses and bring more light and love to people around you. So Gabby has an awesome new book out called Miracles Now. She's just off of her book tour, and Gabby, welcome.
Yay! Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly, my friend. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and we're doing this event, and we've got lots of people already tweeting and chatting with us, so I will tell everyone the hashtag for the event you will see in the corner. It's Miracles Now, so we want to get miracles trending on Twitter, so please tweet with us there, and you can also send your questions for Gabby and I to my Twitter feed at Natalie MacNeil, MacNeil. So we're going to take your questions at the end too. But first, Gabby, I want to hear from you about that light bulb moment for this book. How did this book come to be? When did you have that idea for Miracles Now?
About a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, it came to me about right when I finished my Kundalini teacher training that I needed to write a book that was going to give people the very quick, easy, do-them-now tools that they could use interchangeably throughout their life. And I was getting such a strong call from my readers, from my Instagram followers, Twitter followers, Facebook followers, from people on email, just messaging me, people in my audience is messaging me, asking me, how can we get out of this funk fast? How can I change my energy fast? What can I do to get into this new space now? And so it became really relevant and really clear that people wanted tools that they could access and harness in their day-to-day life instantly. And then it was obvious to me that I was really ready to share my greatest hits. This is like a greatest hits album. It's like 10 years of daily right actions to shift my own energy, and this book is really a compilation of what I have done and what I've used. And a lot of people also are asking me, how did you get to where you are? And this book is my response.
I love that. So powerful. And for those of you who don't know, the book is 108 little tools, meditations, things that you can use every single day for big shifts in your life. And so for me, I have a top 10 that I pulled out from the book for those of you who haven't dove into it yet. And for those of you who have already read the book, I would love for you to tweet us with the hashtag Miracles Now and share your own favorite lessons from the book. And in the meantime, I'm going to go through my top 10 and get Gabby to comment on those or dive a little deeper into them. So the first one, and I think that this is a great place to start our event, is clean up your side of the street. Because it's so easy to think that everybody else is the one doing everything wrong. And so share with us what that means to you.
Yeah, definitely. I think that we have to take ownership for our part in all of our life's given circumstances. So wherever we are in our life, there's something that in our psyche, in our belief system, in our language, that in our energy, first and foremost, that created our life circumstances. So we often want to be in that defensive place where we're going to point the finger at others and say, look what you've done to me, look what you've done to me. And in this case, the goal ultimately is to really take ownership of what is your side of the street, what is your part in the situation. And in owning your part, you can have an easier time forgiving others. You can have an easier time taking action towards healing your circumstances and changing your experiences, and really owning up to the fact that what you're experiencing is a reflection of what you are doing, thinking, and feeling. And that's I mean, I think it's a great place to start. That was a really good place to start.
Okay, number 2, and I think this is a really important one because so many people want to share their gifts with the world, but there's a fear there. So lose the stage fright.
Yeah, so this one's actually an acupressure point. So it's right here, and you press this acupressure point. This is something I learned from one of my really good friends and an acupuncturist and Kundalini teacher. And this really helps for getting out of a place of stage fright. And really, I think another great tool for that simply is just to breathe and remember that it's not about you. You know, I always share that before I give a talk, I say, may the guidance of the highest truth and compassion please speak through me. Because when I'm realizing it's not about me, then that's when the real magic happens. That's when an invisible force far beyond me takes over, and I can step aside and let that inspiration lead the way. And so, yeah, I think really that may be a really helpful thing as well, just to get out of your own way.
Yeah, get out of your own way. So many people stay in their own way for so long.
Right.
3 is the meditation to release anger from the past so that you can find freedom in the present.
Is this number 3 in the book, or this isn't to release childhood anger, is it? Which one is it?
Yes. Yeah, childhood anger. Because there's so much junk we all hang on to for so long.
Yeah, this is a pretty neat meditation. You put your arms out to the side. I think your fingertips, correct me if I'm wrong, your fingertips are like this. Your arms are out to the side. Can't really see me, but you're like this. And you breathe in through your teeth and out through your mouth, I think. I want to make sure that's right. In through your teeth. So and this, you know, Yogi Bhajan says to do this before you go to sleep. And if you do this for 10 minutes before you go to bed, you'll wake up feeling completely rejuvenated. And I've put many people on a 40-day practice of doing this meditation just to really clear out old garbage and junk from their family of origin story. And whenever they're in a place of needing to shed a layer of the perceptions they've placed upon themselves, this is a really strong meditation to do. And this is one of the deeper meditations in the book that I find to be very, very helpful.
Love it. Okay, next one, number 4, is pray before you pay. And I always do this. I always bless every check that I get as I grow my business.
Nice.
Always so much gratitude for money. Our friend Danielle Laporte said that she looks at her bank account every day and says thank you, which I really love. So pray before you pay.
Yeah. Energy is currency, right? So the what we're receiving and what's coming in is a direct reflection of our belief systems around our energetic relationship to money. And so if we're in a place where we're paying those bills and we're really fearful about paying those bills, we're writing those checks and it's not a comfortable scenario, say a prayer before you pay. So that prayer could be anything from, I'm grateful that I have the money in my bank account to pay this bill. I'm proud of myself for being able to support the economy and support someone else's occupation and keep people in business. I'm proud that I can run my business, whatever it is that you're paying for. And changing the energy around paying from a place of lack to a place of gratitude and a place of recognition that you are investing in something or someone is a very different energy than that place of, oh my God, there's not enough, there's not enough. And that not enough place creates an essence of not enough. And so there's a lot of lessons in the book about changing your energy around your financial currency and your financial security so that you can start to feel this greater presence of abundance in your life. And that abundance is an inside job, which is actually another one of the tips in the book. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you do talk a lot about money in the book, which is awesome because I think it's something so many people struggle with. And you said that for you it was a matter of cleaning up your own finances too. I think I remember you saying that you had just stacks of like paperwork and things that you just didn't want to look at. And then it got to that point of just showing a greater level of respect for your finances and how you keep them organized.
And even cleaning my wallet, you know, I have this hot pink wallet, so I talk a lot about, you know, the color red for a wallet or a gold wallet or a green wallet can be a very good feng shui color for the wallet that you have. And cleaning your wallet really is powerful for allowing more financial abundance to come in. It sounds like silly witchcraft, but it's really
And that's so simple for everyone to do. Like this weekend, everybody can set a goal to spend 20 minutes with your wallet. I mean, it shouldn't take more than 20 minutes to clean out your wallet, unless it's like...
You one, you know, that's not a very expensive endeavor. You can go get a nice, cool-looking wallet, and it doesn't have to be a designer brand. Just go grab a cool-looking, bright wallet and start over. Start fresh.
Start fresh. Love it. Okay, number 6. sorry, number 5, I skipped one, and it's an important one. See the tormentor as the mentor. And what I loved about this one is that the tormentor isn't necessarily a bad person in our life. I mean, we can be the tormentor for people around us as well. And I had this really good friend in high school, and her and I stopped being friends over a boy. It was the stupidest thing, and we tormented each other for years, and we've recently reconnected, and we have this friendship again, and I love her, and she's amazing. And it wasn't, at the time I looked at her as a tormentor, and really she was an amazing mentor, and that whole situation was a really incredible gift to me in my life.
I love this lesson too. I think that one of the messages that I put in the book is that it's really quite simple. What we don't like about other people is a disowned part of our own shadow. Yeah. And so if you have that underlined, and that I think is a really valuable lesson, because we want to often see that there's something wrong in others, but it's usually a reflection of what's wrong, what we feel is wrong within us. And so we have to look at those people that we think are the ones that torment us most and bring up most of our crap, and look at them, and instead of pointing the finger and saying, oh, look what you've done to me, or look what you're bringing up in me, really ask yourself, what is it within me that is being reflected back? And there's another lesson in the book called Recognize the Other Person as You. And that's starting to see that what we see in others, whether it be the light that we see in someone else, that's a reflection of our light. The darkness that we see in someone else is a reflection of our perceived darkness. And so we have to start to really see these relationships as spiritual assignments, and start to use these relationships to strengthen our own awareness of who we are and why we're here and what we're here to learn and what we're here to share.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I think we spend way too much time looking at, other people's side of the street and how dirty it is, instead of looking at sweeping what's in our own front yard. Okay, next one. And I love this one. Number 6, give more of what you want to receive. It's one of my favorite lessons from A Course in Miracles, that giving and receiving is actually the same thing. That was a really big shift for me during A Course in Miracles. So I love that one. Give more of what you want to receive. How does that work in your own life?
Something interesting happened the other day. I think someone posted this, like, some guy had taken one of my quotes from the book and put his picture on it, and then didn't like tag the book or put my name or anything. And this girl posted on Facebook, and she was like, oh my God, this makes me so angry. I've told him how wrong this is. He shouldn't be, plagiarizing and taking your stuff. And I wrote back and I said, in that every reader takes ownership of these tools and starts to master them and incorporate them in their own practice of teaching. And so I was like, that's groovy. Like, the fact that he's putting that message out there is awesome. And there was such a great energy of give it, give it, give it. Don't feel like I need to hoard it or hold it or make that so that, this is my conversation. This is not my conversation. This is our conversation. And so in that experience of someone sort of saying, well, this guy is plagiarizing or taking your stuff, and me saying, no, I want him to have it. I want him to share it. That's the message. That was a real, recognition of how far I have come with the belief system of give more of what you want to receive. So in the experience of just being open to giving the tools, giving the messaging, being, not hoarding and not making it mine and letting my ego say that this is all me, really reorganized the intention of the book, of the message of the book, of the work that I'm here to do. And so I think that's just sort of a nice example of give more of what you want to receive. If you want to receive more light in the world, then give more light, and just give it without any consequence.
Absolutely. And the next one you've already touched on, but I did pull it out as one of my top 10 favorites in the book, which is the qualities we dislike in others are disowned parts of our own shadow. And you did touch on that already, but I think it's worth repeating because it's a really important one. I'll go on to number 8. So number 8 was intentions grow when they are shared. And I know that I love watching your Twitter feed or Instagram, because you're always sharing the intentions that you have, like when you quit coffee or when you decided to go off sugar, how you put that intention out there and even did a countdown and track it with those who follow you.
Yeah, yeah. I think that that's exactly right. I think that when we, now it doesn't mean that we have to be that forthcoming about everything it is that we do. We don't have to, you know, announce every detail in the world, but it does help to be open about what we are sharing, and it does help to really commit and be straightforward about what it is that we want to put out into the world. And so I think that that is a big message, which is if you want to really get grounded and rooted in it, share it. And, you know, Seth Godin says ideas that spread win. And so, you know, if we're like tonight, if people are out there hashtagging miracles now and they're sharing quotes from us and they're putting out positive content, then that message and that energy will take on a life of its own. And so I believe that we have to use the technology that we have at our fingertips in the greater ways of spreading and growing the greater intentions of why we're here and what we're here to do. And so, yeah, share. That's a huge part of the messaging from the book and just who I am as a person.
Yeah, I love that. The next one is sleep as a spiritual practice. So I would love to hear about your own sleep routine. Like for me, going to bed has become a really big routine now. Like at 11:11, I have this alarm that goes off. 11:11 p.m. and I start getting ready for bed and, you know, doing some meditation, and I'll light an incense and maybe go into my bedroom and read a little bit, and it's a ritual for me now. So how do you incorporate sleep as a spiritual practice into your life, and what does your routine look like for getting ready for bed?
Well, sleep is such a huge part of my well-being and my health and how I stay connected to my physical presence, and I get a lot of sleep. You know, some people are fine functioning with very little sleep. Like my husband's fine with like 6 hours of sleep. Like I need 8 minimum. And I really need good sleep, solid sleep. And so I pray before I go to sleep. I make sure to not eat very much before I go to sleep. I try to eat 3 hours before I go to sleep. I try not to watch television before I go to sleep, though these days I've been watching a little bit of Mad Men, and that's just taking me into weird, bizarre dreams about Don Draper, but I try not to go there. And, you know, I just have certain things, like I have certain non-negotiables before I go to bed. So, you know, not getting into deep discussion, not watching anything crazy. It's just really protecting my energy before I fall asleep, and then praying before I sleep for sure. I used to meditate before bed, but that would energize me more. So now I just do some like light breath work. I do have a meditation in the book that's great for falling asleep, which is the O breath, where you breathe in through the O mouth and out through your nose.
Yeah, you know, I love that reverse breath. It's so powerful.
Yeah, that helps a lot. That really helps a lot.
Now in Kundalini, there's the like cold shower before bed. I know a lot of Kundalini practitioners and instructors do that.
Typically, it's suggested when you wake up in the morning to take a cold shower. Right. It's great for the lymphatic system. It's great for just re-energizing your body. I am too much of I'm not even going to say the word here. I'm a little afraid for the showers. I prefer a warm bath. But it's definitely a powerful thing, and I definitely try. And in the summertime, I'm more inclined to mess around with the cold showers. But it definitely.
That's what I said. I was like, those people are not in like minus 20-degree East Coast Canadian winter.
Well, those people, those Kundalinis, they're everywhere, and they do it. They do it. It's wild. I did hear once, for falling asleep, put your feet. This is a Kundalini tool, and I hope I'm not saying it wrong. Put your feet in cold water. But I'll confirm that.
Doable. That's more manageable for me than the whole like cold water shower.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. And the last point that I wanted to hit on in my top 10 before we get into the audience questions is that you are the guru, and that everybody here at this event has the power to go out and share. And you mentioned sharing before, even just being here, sharing this event and tweeting about it, you are being that miracle worker. And the light that you see in Gabby is a reflection of your own light. So I think that's a really important message. to touch upon before we move forward into the Q&A session?
Yeah, this is the last lesson in the book, and it's you are the guru, meaning that every reader, everyone that picks up that book, that they cannot look to me or to another teacher as their guru, instead to look and recognize that they are the teacher, they are the guru. And that we all, if we've wound up reading a book like this, or if we wound up on a live stream hangout like this, and we have these moments where we're really taking in this type of content and applying it in our life, we have accepted a divine invitation to show up in a greater way and to teach and to share. And so in that experience of accepting that call, we have to take responsibility for the signature that we signed, the spiritual signature that we signed, and the sacred contract that we signed to be a teacher. And so owning your presence and owning your power and owning that you too are the guru, that you have a message to share. And so that's definitely a nice place to stop with these questions, because that is the closing of the book and the primary intention of the book, which is to give people these tools so that they can share them.
Awesome. Okay, so we have some questions coming in on Twitter, and a few have come in through email. The first one is from Anata. I hope I'm saying that right. And she asks, I've come a long way in the last 2 years, and I'm recovering from a painful divorce. But on an almost daily basis, I have a mini meltdown and complete freak out. What advice do you have to help me through this?
So I would give her, from the book, the meditation to prevent freaking out. This is in the book, okay? And you may be able to tell her what number it is. I don't have the book in front of me, but it's the meditation to prevent freaking out. And this one's really neat. Every 90 to 120 seconds, the dominant nostril changes. So right now you may be breathing out of your right nostril. In 90 to 120 breaths, your left nostril will become the dominant nostril. And so the concept here is that you take a moment, you witness that you're freaking out, and then you sit in stillness and you identify which is the dominant nostril. And then upon identifying which is the dominant nostril, you consciously choose to change directions. So if you recognize that your left nostril is the dominant nostril, then you start to try through your consciousness to breathe out of the right nostril. And then you can go back and forth for a few minutes. But that is a really powerful practice for really stopping a freak out, because it takes your mind and your energy away from the freak out and focus on something completely different. It's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. Look at that. So you've got to get this book, Anata, because there's a meditation just for you in it. Okay, the next question is from Sasha. How do you both start your days?
Okay. I start my day with a prayer, and I will often say, what miracles would you have me perform today? And I surrender my day fully. And I say, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? And now these days I'm in a practice of a 40-day Kundalini Kriya. So then I'll go do my Kundalini Kriya and my meditation. And so that's what's happening right now. And then I have breakfast. How about you, Natalie? What do you do?
I love that. Well, I adopted your what will you have me do, where will you have me go, who will you have me speak to today. That's the first thing I do before I open my eyes in the morning, and I borrowed that from you a few years ago. So that's been a really great way to start my day, even before I get out of bed. And then I usually start with no email, nothing digital for at least an hour to 2 hours, and I just spend time doing things that bring me joy. Sometimes it's a walk and just being really present in that moment. Other times it's sitting here in my little meditation space on my cushion and doing some meditation. Other times it's having a nice, long, warm shower, not a cold shower, in this spa shower that I have, and it changes every day, but it's always a very mindful morning with green juice and just really taking care of myself before I start taking care of everybody else. And I think it's easy to fall into that trap of always getting up and just worrying about everyone else, checking in with our teams, checking in with email, and getting going right away, and it's something that I've stopped doing. So that's how I start my day. All right. Next question is for you, Gabby, from Kelly. And Kelly says, I relax right now through smoking and a martini on a good day. What do you suggest I do to replace this routine with something more positive because I want to stop this shit?
So typically when people are smokers, they're actually just looking for their breath. Because what is inhaling a cigarette, right? It's like, right? So it's a really deep breath. And so a lot of smokers are people who don't breathe throughout their day. So my suggestion would be to just really get into a practice of taking long, deep breaths. If you start to witness yourself wanting to go pick up that cigarette, why don't you just spend 1 minute breathing very, very deeply, breathing in for 5 seconds, hold your breath for 5 seconds, release for 5 seconds, hold your breath out for 5 seconds, in for 5, hold for 5, out for 5, hold for 5. Practice that for 1 minute. This could be called the 1 minute breath. And use that before you pick up that cigarette. And you may see that you may not need it as you start to change. Another way that I've asked people to use the book is to put their hand on the book and say, miracles now, I need a miracle. So in those moments when you're about to pick up a drink, or you're about to pick up that cigarette, miracles now, I need a miracle. And in that space of asking for that miracle, you can see that there's an opening. And you open that book to any page, and whatever page you land on is exactly the lesson that you need. And then the suggestion is always to practice the lesson that's in front of you.
I love that. Okay, we have one of our viewers has an anxiety disorder. She really liked lesson number 47, Your Presence is Your Power. Any extra tips or advice for her? I know a lot of people who struggle with anxiety these days.
So one of the meditations in the book that's really great for this is called Bust Through the Blocks with Breath of Fire. And, you know, many of you may have seen me teaching Ego Eradicator, where everyone's hands are up in the air and they're doing this breath of fire. And so the breath of fire breath is great for busting through anxiety, because whenever I'm feeling anxious, that's the first thing I go to. And so I would just suggest that you put her hand on her stomach and just make sure that you're breathing. Everyone can do this with me right now. And your hand on your stomach, breathe on the exhale. On the inhale, your stomach is extending. On the exhale, it's contracting. And then it's extending. And now breathing through your nose slowly. Inhale, stomach out. Exhale, your stomach is coming in. Inhale out, exhale in, and go faster. Inhale out, exhale in, out, in, out, in. That's breath of fire. And if you can see, my stomach is fluttering, see? And being in that breath of fire, can cut through the crap really fast and bust through the anxiety really, really quickly. So that's what I would suggest for her.
Great tool. I love that one too. Okay, Irene asks, Gabby, this may sound kind of crazy. I think Gabby's probably heard every crazy thing you could think of. But my addiction is to bad news happening all over the world, as well as gossip, which always leaves me feeling like we live our lives on a really horrible planet. Have you ever heard of this kind of addiction before? And what can I do to see the world as a better place?
I absolutely have seen this and seen many, many people struggle with the addiction to negativity and gossip and separation. There's a lesson in the book called Worry is a Prayer for Chaos. And so when we're in that place of worrying and looking for the negativity, we're praying for more chaos in our life, and we're attracting more chaos in our life. And so, you know, and there's a lesson in the book also called Compare No More, because a lot of things that we often do is just start comparing ourselves to others in that space of you know, really creating that separation. And so the lesson here is to, one, first and foremost, recognize that this is an addictive pattern, and recognize that that she's looking outside of herself for dramas because she's not dealing with whatever drama is happening within. And so I would suggest that she go a little deeper in her own practice and start to look closely at what is it within that is not working, and then start to open up to how she can clear that. In clearing her own personal stuff, she'll potentially stop looking for it outside of herself. When we search outside for all that negativity, it's because we're not wanting to look at what's happening on the inside. And then it becomes very addictive.
Yeah, great answer. Okay, our next one is from Alicia. And Alicia asks, you both have successful businesses and make money selling products. that you want to help people with. Do you ever feel guilty that you're walking spiritual paths but making a lot of money? Would love to hear from both of you on this.
No, not at all. I don't think, I think what we both can probably agree to is that whatever you're doing in life, if you're in alignment with your highest truth and your highest purpose, then you will be supported for the great work that you do. And so we have to be unapologetic about what it is that we need to run our businesses and support ourselves as a container with which we hold the great work that we are here to share. And when you own that and you become unapologetic about what it is that you want to receive, that is when you can truly allow your work to spread in a very massive way. And a lot of people walk around with this really screwed up story that, you know, to be spiritual means you need to be poor, and it is quite the opposite. It is quite the opposite. Whatever is happening for you financially is a reflection of your internal spiritual condition. And if, you know, this, in the same breath that we sell products, I'd like to remind her that this is an hour of free content.
Yes.
What we do, I'd have to say about 50% of the content that I share in the world is free. And so if people want to buy a book or buy a course, that's great. And if they never want to buy something from me, they will be fueled and filled with more content than they could ever need. Because every Monday I put out a video blog, every week I do an hour radio show, every month I do a Women We Dig on my Her Future site for an hour, and every other week I'm doing something like this. So there is no other response than be unapologetic about what it is that you need to support yourself to do the great work that you do.
Yeah, and I would just echo all of that. I love the quote from Marianne Williamson that from spiritual substance comes material manifestation. And I think that's really true. And money in the right hands can do really amazing things on the planet. I mean, look at people like Bill and Melinda Gates, who are giving away their billions of dollars to eradicate poverty around the world. And on a smaller scale, like Gabby mentioned, being here at this event tonight, events like this cost thousands of dollars to put on, and we do it to be of highest service. We're not selling a program or anything like that tonight. This is just something that is really to serve you and to connect with you and to share this really powerful message of miracles now and a message of light and love and spreading that out into the world. So with business profits from other things, we're able to invest in things like this event here tonight.
Yeah,
so
I think that's
absolutely not, no guilt.
That's a good point too, because the more you earn, the more you can invest in what you're doing, and that's been my experience. The more people I can employ, the more I can give away. You know, it's just
exactly, yeah.
Spread, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so both of us, no guilt at all. So Alicia, yeah, be unapologetic about that. Okay, Marjorie would just like to say that we both have miraculous hair, speaking of miracles. And the next question, there's a couple questions actually from people just talking about our brands and how to share a message in a way that feels aligned with you. So,
okay.
How do you, I mean, you use social media all the time. I know people are always, you're one of the best branded women according to Forbes. So how are you sharing a message in a way that's aligned with you and building your platform in a way that feels good? I think I already know the answer, but some people are asking, so we'll talk about that.
I believe that if you are sharing what is real to you, your authentic truth in whatever it is, whether it be a blog or a video or a tweet or an Instagram, then that is what, that energy of authenticity is felt through the message. And so I think you know as a viewer when you're witnessing people share bullshit, right? You just, you know, you can sniff it a mile away. You're like, this is boring, this doesn't feel connected, this person doesn't feel connected to what they're sharing. Every post I do, I always almost do like a kinesiology test. Like I'm not literally like holding my arm up, but I will energetically tap in and feel, does this feel connected to me? I will literally go into blogs and like delete half of it and rewrite the whole thing if it's not feeling connected. And so I think it's the key to creating a brand that will have an impact on the world is to be real and be authentic. And there's nothing cooler, nothing more attractive, and nothing more shareable than your authentic truth.
Nothing more shareable than your authentic truth. Great tweetable for our Miracles Now hashtag. The next question is from Jennifer. And she asks, how can we stop feeling addicted to our partner early on in a romantic relationship? That time when everything is rainbows and butterflies and you're head over heels for that person. How can you stop feeling that addiction in the early stages of a relationship?
Yeah, I talk a lot about this in my book, Spirit Junkie, and there's a lesson about this in Miracles Now as well. But it's so much more about building a really great romance within our own personal relationship to ourselves. And when we have that greater connection to our personal being and our presence, and we fall in love with the time spent in contemplation or the time spent with good friends, then we can take the pressure off of that romantic partner. And so I think that the big lesson here is about really bringing more romance into the other areas of your life, like your romance to your yoga mat, bring romance to your friendships. And as you get fueled and fired up by these other relationships in your life, whether it be a relationship to your spiritual practice or to yourself or to your friends, you take the pressure off that partner. And that's a really big deal.
Awesome. You have a few Spirit Junkies who are telling me that they want to know the winner of your Shelfie Award.
Okay. I was going to announce it tonight. Hold on. There's one that I'm thinking about. Let me just see. Let me make sure. I was going to announce it tonight, and I'm waiting because I'm just looking at this and looking at the Shelfies at the moment. There's one I'm thinking of, but I'm not sure. So I'm on the fence about whether it becomes more than one person. So that's worth the wait, right, everybody? It could be more than one person, so it's worth the wait. I'll either announce it tonight before midnight, most likely. I'm having a hard time making up my mind, Natalie. I might need your help.
There are some really good ones. I've been looking at all of them. Some people are really creative. It's incredible.
Yeah, so you guys have like 3 more hours to share your Shelfies on Instagram, a picture of the book Somewhere Creative with Soul, and use the hashtag Miracles Now, and I will pick in the next few hours. I'll pick one. There's about 2 that are really on the fence. I mean, I'm a sucker for the babies and the animals, but there's a few others that have gone beyond babies and animals that are fierce. Really.
You have a few people who are like, no, we need to know now.
Oh, they are upset? Oh, I don't want them to do. Tell them I'm going to announce it on my Instagram before 11 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, you heard it. So you'll be finding out tonight, and those who can afford to wait can wait without anxiety, right? Patience.
That's right, babe.
Patience.
I was about to announce something, but I don't want to rush. I was about to show you the picture that I like, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to give you a few more hours. Show me more Shelfies. Show me more.
Gabby wants more Shelfies. Okay.
And you can show me another one. If you did one and you don't think it's good enough, show me a new one.
Okay, there are a couple more people who had questions about romantic relationships. I think this is a really big topic for a lot of people, and the next part of addictions in romantic relationships is around letting somebody go after, and sometimes long after, the relationship has ended. So how do you energetically cut those ties and cords to other people?
Well, there's forgiveness meditations in the book, which are really helpful. There's cord cutting meditations. I have on my website a cord cutting meditation. If you go to gabbyb.tv/meditate, there's a lot that we can do spiritually and energetically to cut that energy connection. A lot of it also is just the practice of forgiveness, forgiving people for, and being open to the practice of forgiveness. So people say, well, how do I forgive? And the answer is really quite simple. It's pray for forgiveness. So if there's someone that you are feeling really energetically hooked into, you can say that prayer. Spirit, God, whoever you speak to, help me cut this cord. Help me release this person. You can use that affirmation, I forgive you, I release you. I heard this in a Marianne Williamson lecture a decade ago, and it became my mantra. I forgive you, I release you. I forgive you, I release you. And in that daily practice of forgiveness and release, we start to set the intention that we're willing to let go. And then that's when we sort of invite in an invisible force that takes over and starts to show us the next right actions that we will need, whether it be a coach or a book or a healer that will help us go deeper in that practice. So sometimes it's just about awakening our awareness and our desire to change. And worrying less about what we do and more about being in a released, relaxed state and trusting that that practice is happening and that it's something that we're being guided to.
Yeah, and a few people have asked about friendships too, and moving on from a really difficult friendship or a friendship that ended badly. And I'm assuming that you would have the same advice for people who are having a little bit of trouble in their friendships.
Yeah, I had been given great advice when I was younger, and I was having a lot of trouble with my first business partner when I had a PR firm. And I resented my partner so much. And then when I got sober, one of my sober mentors said to me, pray for her to have all the things that you want for yourself. And that was such just to really hold that energy. And today, she's one of my dearest friends. It took about 6 or 7 years to get over the wreckage of the past, but we did, and now we're quite close, good friends. And so pray for someone to have what you want for yourself.
That's beautiful. Okay. Gabby, I'm having a lot more moments of light, but my ego keeps on charging back. How do I keep my ego from getting the best of me?
Open the book more often.
Yeah.
This is the answer, because that's actually the purpose of this book. I said in my lecture about the book, which is that I used to live in the darkness with fleeting moments of light. And now I'm living in the light with fleeting moments of darkness. And it's just because of the lots of little right actions that I've been taking to unlearn the fear and remember the light. And so I would just tell the person to take the book with them, whether it's on their Kindle or in their handbag, and take that book with her all day long. And whenever she notices the ego come in, miracles now, and in a miracle, open the book, practice the exercise that's right in front of you. And if you do that 10 times in a day, that's good. That's going to be good.
Yeah, I love that. Do that with the book. And I love doing that with like goddess oracle cards too. Yeah. And saying like, what do I need to know right now?
Yeah. We're definitely turning the book into a deck, so stay tuned for that.
Awesome. Okay, I want to hear from both of you about diet and lifestyle choices to support your highest self. Are you vegan, vegetarian? I know Kundalini encourages veganism.
Kundalini encourages vegetarianism, yes. That's part of the yogic lifestyle. I am not a vegetarian. I eat meat. I eat fish. It's much better for me. I was eating very raw, and I was very sick all the time. And so, and as you probably have seen on my Instagram, I'm no longer sharing pictures of green juice, though I think green juice is great for people, but it's not good for me. And, like half a cup of green juice could be healthy for me, like a little bit here and there. Green smoothies are better for me. I need more substance. I've been off sugar for almost 200 days. I am doing a candida diet, which is really starving the yeast in my digestive system so that I can clear out the overgrowth of yeast, which really just makes you tired and lethargic and foggy and infertile and all these things, that I want to clear. So I've been doing that. I've been on the candida diet for several months, for almost 200 days, same length of time I've been off sugar, and feeling much better and have a long way to go. And so I very well may be on this lifestyle plan for the rest of my life, but possibly the rest of my life. I don't eat, so it's nothing fermented, no yeast, no sugar, no white flour, no food with hormones, low caffeine. They prefer no caffeine. I just do low caffeine, and no dairy. And I do eat meat, and I do eat fish, and it's really good for me, and I feel really, really good eating fish and meat. And I know that might be offensive to some of the vegans out there. I honor you, I bow to you for all that you do, and I hope you can respect what I do too.
Yeah, and I think you make a really good point. Really, it's just about listening to your own body, and sometimes we get so caught up in this is the latest trend or fad, or this is what everyone else is doing, or I go to yoga every day, so I need to be a vegan. And that's not the case. You have to listen to your own body and what feels good for you.
That's right. That's right. I sat next to Chris Carr last week eating fish for dinner while she had her vegetables, and we were both happy as a clam, and not judging what the other was eating, and you just have to eat what is right for you, and our digestive systems are needing different things, and our energy fields need different things, and I am not well served by eating raw food. It does not serve me at all.
Me neither. I do vegetarian as well with the fish. Had fish for dinner tonight so that I could have the energy to do all stuff. And again, I think it's about creating that judgment-free zone too, and not judging what other people are doing. So if you are vegan, not judging, and if you eat meat, not judging the vegans, and it's
oh my God, I honor anyone who never feels right for them. That's what I believe in. Yeah. I mean, there's a few things that are obvious. I think cutting out sugar and dairy. Those are things that we can do without. But some people may say, hey, I need my sugar. I think I lost you for a second. Now we're back. Okay. Did you just ask a question?
Nope.
It froze.
Yeah, we are good. Okay, the next question is about exercise and how you do mindful exercise throughout the day. So do you have any classes that you really like? I know you obviously do Kundalini, but what are some of your exercise practices on a daily basis?
So here's a story. I love the gym, but there isn't really a gym very close to where I live, and I live, in New York City, so walking to the gym back and forth. I'm getting a new gym in my neighborhood, which is exciting. But as a result of not having a gym near me, I've been doing a lot of in-home workouts. And so I will do Pilates, which I love. I have this great 10-minute Pilates video, which is like an hour of 10-minute sections. And so I could do the whole hour, I could do 20 minutes, or I could do 30 minutes. It's really fabulous. I'm doing a Kundalini Kriya now every single day for 40 days, and I'm likely to keep it going. It's a sexual energy Kriya. It's so awesome. And it's 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how long of a warm-up I do. So it could be a half hour if I do the warm-up. And then sometimes I run the stairs. I just move every day. When I'm boiling water, I do leg lifts to lift my butt. So I'm always moving. And I think that's the key for me, is just to have some kind of movement on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think that's key for me too. It's just getting out and going for a walk, or I work on a ball now, or standing up instead of always sitting down, because so many of us are just sitting at our desks all day like this, hunched over, and it's so bad for you in the long run. So I try to stand up more and work and just get outside, go for a walk. I recalibrate my eyes throughout the day by looking at a candle. So every couple hours I'll focus on a candle about a foot in front of me, and you just do that until your eyes start watering, and it refocuses your eyes and allows you to go back to your computer in a way that isn't going to completely destroy your vision over the next several decades. So I consider that to be a form of exercise too.
That's good to know.
Way of moving the whole body and just keeping the energy flowing, right? Because if you don't, you get stuck. That's when you get writer's block, or you sit in front of the computer screen saying, well, I don't know what the heck to do next.
Totally.
All right, that's a good one. Okay, so many questions coming in. Please, everyone, make sure that you are using the tag Miracles Now so that I can find your question, or just tweet it directly to me at Natalie MacNeil. That's NATALIEMACNEIL, because we definitely don't want to miss it. And we just have time for a few more questions before we go. Okay, the next question, I guess this goes back to negativity and being around negative people. So how do you deal with negativity or a lack of support coming from people who you love and who you don't want to cut out of your life?
This is a nice question. There are a lot of lessons in the book about how to protect our energy and how to deal with haters and how to deal with negative people. And it's something that comes up a lot. And so I think, we want to still have those people in our life, but we don't want to be the victim of that energy. So I think a lot of that is intention-based. Before you enter into the room where that person is. Did I lose you, Natalie?
No, I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, you went a little dark. Okay, so okay, where was I? I was saying that we can get into a space where, oh, there you're back. Okay, we can get into a space where we have this disconnect of energy, and so we can say it in prayer and intention before we walk out of the room and say, hey, I'm here to bring my highest presence, and I'm going to protect my energy, and we can pray that we don't pick up the energy of the people that are around us. And if we do feel that we have picked up the energy of the people that are around us, when we leave that circumstance, we can say, thank you, spirit energy, for removing any negative energy that I may have picked up, and thank you for retrieving any positive energy I may have lost. And that's a powerful way to handle it.
Amazing. Okay. How do I deal with being really jealous of people, especially people I'm seeing online, and quite honestly, sometimes the two of you?
Well, I think that the answer there is that, what I often would respond is that when you see the light in another person, that is a reflection of who you are, and that story of recognize the other person as you is so powerful. And when you start to see your contemporaries who you may admire parts of who they are, know that is you, and start to nurture those parts of you even more, and elevate those parts of who you are even more. And that jealousy is really just another form of separation. And so that's separation from our own sense of interconnectedness and oneness. And so, through your meditation, just try to envision yourself. There's a great Course in Miracles meditation where there's these great rays of light that come in, and those great rays of light represent this message that we are not separate beings. We are just great rays of light. So if there's someone that you are jealous of or resenting or comparing, bring them into your meditation and then envision these great rays of light pouring through each of you, and then enveloping the space and recognizing that energy is just light, that we're all one beam of light. And we have to recognize that interconnectedness in order to really thrive.
Excellent. Okay, next question is from Arlene. Gabby, I wanted to know if you try manifesting more than one thing at a time. And what are your tips for manifesting on a daily basis when you have something really, really big that you want to call into your world?
I think the key to manifesting is to let it all go, right? It's like we can hold a vision of what it is we desire and then turn it over fully, and just allow and just be happy and be joyful. And when you're in an energy of joy, then what it is that you want comes to you naturally. And so I don't really practice manifesting. In fact, I just practice being happy. I practice being joyful. I practice being inspired. And I trust that when I'm in that place of inspiration, what I think about comes to me. What I want comes to me. What I need comes to me. And then things I didn't even know that I needed or wanted come to me in a far greater way than I could have ever imagined. So just let go and be in joy. Focus on joy.
Yeah, I used to try to control every single outcome with everything, and it was always about the goal and being attached to the outcome. And now I've just learned how to completely surrender it and let it go and detach myself from that result. And oftentimes, and I've told this to you, Gabby, you end up with something way more beautiful in your life than you could have dreamed for yourself, right? And I think that's the case with you. You probably 5, even 10 years ago, you may have had this vision for yourself, but look how amazing your life is now. And maybe it's not exactly as you planned, but maybe it's even something more. Exactly. It's great. Okay. Emily, can you quickly explain to me what a Kriya is? I keep hearing the term, but I'm unclear. Just a brief explanation would be great.
Set of exercises that have been scientifically and artfully placed in a series so that they can stimulate certain parts of the brain or certain parts of the nervous system. So it's a set of specific asanas and breath and meditation that are put together so that you can have the flow of that experience to affect a certain part of your body and a certain part of your brain.
Okay, thank you. Emily says thank you for that. Gabby, the more spiritual work I do, the deeper I feel I fall into a depression. Is this normal, and can you help?
I think that's a nice question to sort of close on, in that, like, there's a lot that comes up when we embark on a spiritual journey. And we're often faced with the truth of our fears, and we're faced with the witnessing of our discomfort. And so what I often suggest is, if you're new to your spiritual practice, to be very, very kind and gentle and nurturing towards yourself. And maybe that means taking a break from certain people, or maybe that means eating healthier foods or sleeping more, and be very, very gentle and very kind, because opening up your psychic and spiritual awareness often is an unearthing of the fears that we were for a long time anesthetizing and pushing down. And I bow to you, whoever you are, and all of you, for having the freedom and the fearlessness to look at your discomfort and look at your wreckage, and to have the willingness to heal it. And if you have that, that is a massive, massive commitment to make to your life. And it can bring up a lot of fear, but to trust that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And to use the tools that are given to you as you start to awaken even more. There will be more and more tools given to you. To use them all the time to soften and soothe yourself and take care of yourself. Yeah, that's a nice.
It's been such a beautiful discussion. I have loved every minute of this, and you guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for all of your tweets and love and all these amazing comments that are coming in. It's been a really fantastic hour with all of you. And I just want to let you know that Gabby has a few bonuses for the book when you buy it at gabbyb.tv/miracles. And we're going to throw that image and that link up on the screen so that you have it. If any of you have tuned into this event through a link that was shared with you through social media, and you weren't actually registered for the event, but you would like to be emailed the recording and a couple other little bonuses, please make sure you're registered at shetakesontheworld.com/miracles now, so that you get those things. And Gabby, are you already working on the next book, or are you going to take a little break for a while?
I probably won't. I've been putting out a book a year. I probably won't go for next year, but I'll let this one marinate. But I am thinking about a new book, if you can believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Well, it's great because, you know, then we get to have these cool events on an annual basis, and I always love seeing what you're putting out into the world. So thank you so much for being here with us for this hour. I know you're just off your book tour, and I know that can be really, really exhausting. So thank you for ending your book tour and all that craziness here.
I want to say thank you to you. I think you are a fierce, fierce woman, Natalie, and it is such a privilege to be able to do work with you. And you, for anyone who's new to you that's watching, this woman is really radical, and you show up very, very rapidly, and you just make shit happen. And I'm I honor you, and I'm grateful for this service and what you have created here, and holding the space for this conversation. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, all of you. I bow to all of you. You are all so amazing, and just thank you so much for this hour. It has flown by.
Yeah.
A recording for you and a couple other little treats. So I'll talk to you very, very soon. And until then, I guess I'm going to sign off as Gabby usually signs off, with Sat Nam.
Sat Nam. Bye, everyone. Have a nice night.
Bye.
Bye.